is kind of almost sort of officially here. At least we're starting to get the cool North Canadian wind breeze kind of thing. And, the humidity is going down. So leaves are just starting to turn. And it's usually the yellows that go first, and then the oranges, and then the reds kick in last. So right now, it's kind of a pretty color scheme, with the leaves starting to turn yellow, and grass is still very luminous green, and bright blue sky. It's rather harmonious aesthetically. It makes my drives home from school much more pleasant than in, say, a mellow December, when everything is just sort of white, gray, black. Fall is my favorite time of the year. Not the least of which because it's the easiest season on my allergies. But just the entire, the weather is perfect, for me at least, in fall. And I like fall food, like soup, which I've been making quite a bit of soup lately. I recently made lentil kielbasa soup, and freezed a whole bunch of it for freeze-froze. I don't know, learning Latin has messed up my English grammar like you wouldn't believe. Because Latin, subject, verb, object relations, is very fluid. And, for some reason, I've started, I need to take like an English grammar refresher course because of it, because, obviously it's messing up my recollection of English tense shifts. Note to self for next semester. Anyway, I made lentil kielbasa soup. I just made mushroom and wild rice soup. New recipes that I've never used before for both, and they were good, but they need some tweaking. They're both, the lentil soup, I want to thicken it up a little bit. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about that. Do some research. And, I actually want to do the same for the mushroom and wild rice soup, but probably have to go by. I may have used the wrong kind of rice. There may be something that has, some variety that has a little more of a glutinous texture to it. That, I'll do more research. But they taste good. It's not like they're inedible. I just have things I wish to adjust slightly. So, food. I love food. No one ever believes me when I say that. That was my new baby. If you heard that, she squawked a little bit. Getting picked on. They're mean little some Cheever, and tomorrow we're doing Sarah Orange Jewett, who I actually read over the summer break and loved. And good class. I like the professor. And only one thing I'm kind of having an issue with in that class is just there's one person in the class who's decided that what they have to say is extremely, extremely important. And is usually, in fact, rather derivative, and she has kind of a limited number of things she's capable of pulling out of a text. She talks about symbolism a lot, is what I'm saying, and sure, it's a symbol. What else is it? I mean, maybe I've just been doing this for too long. Sometimes I want to talk about authorial intent or narrative structure or something like that. There's more to a short story than just symbolism. But then again, it's only the second week of class, and pretty sure I've been wandering around that campus for 8 years. I'm pretty sure she has been doing it as long as I have. So, sophomores are always a bit cocky, I've noticed. I'm sure I was too when I was a sophomore. Anyway, we'll deal. If nothing else, I love the professor, and I love the stories, so good outweighs the bad. And then there's my class, the modernist poets. Just 4 of the modernist poets. And class on all of the modernist poets would probably be impossible to do in a 14-week semester. We're doing Langston Hughes, who, oddly enough, I also read over the break. And Muriel Rukeyser, and Robert Frost, and Wallace Stevens. And I've never read Rukeyser before, but I've read a little bit of Stevens and a little bit of Frost. Mentioned before, I'm not usually a 20th century kind of girl, but actually I like Stevens. I don't know why. Sometimes my problem with modernists has always been that I have a little bit of an issue of the notion of writing in such a way that you are purposely alienating your reader as something very